se una barca è un sogno per il suo designer, che cosa
If a
può
boat is a
essere per
dream
noi
envisioned
appassionati?
by its designer, then can it be for us enthusiasts? Something difficult to even imagine.
Mauro Micheli, chief designer di
Mario Micheli, chief designer of Officina Italiana Design, creator of all modern Riva projects, had a dream in the making for many years, since he began designing his first Riva in fact. His dream was to create a grand open, and not only that, an open with a twist.
Prima o poi,
Sooner or later, that dream was to become reality.
per presentarvela, non so da dove cominciare.
To present it to you, I don't even know where to start. Shall we begin with the performance, the style, or maybe something truly special? Let's begin our navigation. What is the most prestigious marine brand in the world? Riva. Where is the most enchanting place to sail? Florida. Put them together and you have the Riva 88 Florida. 88 as its length in feet, that's almost 27 meters long.
We're not in
Florida, but the landscape here isn't bad. We're in Italy, Liguria, on the Gulf of La Spezia. Why was this yacht a dream so difficult to manifest? Maybe because there has never been an open of such size and beauty. One is struck by the elegance of its profile, long and with two dark friezes, one on each side, where windows and portholes are cleverly disguised by the tinted glass, and in the centre, the name of the shipyard, Riva. Normally, a powerboat is designed without a handrail around its borders, but the designer of this open yacht decided to include it, still providing that element of sportcraft, but with the added benefit of greater safety, and of course, a sweeping all-round elegance.
If you're
sunbathing at the bow and you'd like to talk to those sunbathing at the stern, well, you'll have to use your mobile phone, because they're very far apart. I wonder how complicated it must have been to create a windshield with such intricate shapes and angles, its geometry of a fifth dimension. In the garage, a tender and a jet ski are stored, and under the deck, well, I'll show you that later. First, I'd like to show you what really makes this yacht unique. I'm going to press two buttons. They might seem like ordinary buttons, but they're magic. Now, before I begin, let's review. What do you see right now? A long foredeck, a giant cockpit, all of it completely open. And now, look what happens. The yacht is transformed. An audacious mechanism lifts a large slate at the bow and moves it towards the stern as it slowly lowers over the cockpit to attach onto the windshield, without compromising any ounce of beauty or style. This hardtop completes the transformation of the yacht from open to coupe, protecting the cockpit and at the same time creating a new sheltered living area at the bow. Only a Riva could outdo Riva. The system was designed and developed by the engineers at Ferretti Engineering in collaboration with several technical partners. The movement of the structure is carried out by a pantograph mechanism that drives the two pairs of arms. This system, operable when the boat is at rest, is managed by an electronic control unit with sensors that guide every movement safely and accurately, while for extra security, an anemometer controls the strength of the wind before giving authorization to the operation. while in the open position the arms recess fully into the frame, where they are locked in to prevent any movement while the boat is operating.
Flap -8.
The flap is at -8, the motor at 1000 RPM, and we're about to begin planing. 16 knots. The hull is in sailing trim.
Su questo esemplare è installata una coppia di motori MTU. Il modello
On this model there are two MTU 16-valve 2000 M94 engines installed. These engines have 2,638 horsepower, so in total a grand 5,276 horsepower. That is a lot of power, but it's controlled in a very smooth and precise manner.
A parte un leggero salto, un balzo di potenza.
Apart from a slight lurch at around 1500 RPM, the output is very consistent.
Pensate che ciascuno dei cilindri di questo motore.
Each of the cylinders of this engine has a displacement of 2,230 cubic centimetres, so it's quite comparable to the engine of a powerful car. But here there are 16 cylinders per engine, so in total 32. Therefore, the total displacement is 71.400 cubic centimetres.
Motori 1600 giri, velocità 24.
We're now at 1600 RPM, our speed is 24 knots. Fuel consumption is around 440 litres, which means that for every mile you consume 18 litres. But you have to remember, that's pushing forth 70 tonnes of weight.
Sono salito a 29 nodi, I motori sono adesso.
I've just gone up to 29 knots and the engines are now at 1800 revs a minute.
È incredibile. È fermissima.
It's incredible. This boat is so stable. It seems as if we are sailing on a ship. Well, maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, but without the superstructure, the centre of gravity is very low and the stability, I can assure you, is amazing. This is something that I've not yet experienced on this type of boat.
Ora però anche il
But now, of course, the consumption has risen. We're at 290 litres per engine and at 29 knots, so the calculation is easy. 10 litres per motor, hence 20 litres per mile.
C'è una barca che considero un punto di riferimento molto
There is a boat that I consider to be a very important point of reference, and that's the Pershing 82. But it's known that Pershings are made to inspire excitement with their performance, as well as their style and look. Riva has more class, but what about performance? Well, let's take her for a spin to see what she's got.
Ho dato ancora un po' di gas e siamo già arrivati oltre.
I gave her a little more gas and we've already reached higher than 30 knots, 32 and a half to be exact. The consumption has remained constant at 20 litres per hour.
Sono arrivato all'85% del carico massimo dei motori. Eccolo qua.
I've reached 85% of the maximum load of the engines. I should stop now to evaluate the maximum cruising speed. It's 35 knots.
Ho detto che mi devo fermare.
I said that I should stop, but why stop now?
Proviamola a tutta
Let's go full throttle. Let's lift the flap.
Si sente l'accelerazione come se fosse
You feel the acceleration as if you were on a speedboat. I assure you, it's amazing. And the speed? Wow, 41 and a half knots. That's much more than what the shipyard prudently stated as its top speed.
Chissà cosa stanno
I
pensando.
wonder what the guys at Pershing are thinking now.
41 nodi e mezzo con 5.276 cavalli.
41.5 knots with 5,276 horsepower, 70,000 kilograms, a weight-power ratio of 13.2 kilograms per horsepower. How is that possible? And overall, with a V-drive shaft, not a surface propulsion system. In its less powerful version, the 88 Florida employs a pair of MTU 16-valve 2000 M93 engines with a horsepower of 2,435 horsepower each. With that, one can reach speeds of up to 38.5 knots and a cruising speed of around 34 knots. When on board an open, it's not unusual to want to go below deck because, well, here you can happily enjoy the beautiful panoramic view while basking in the bright sunshine. While below, amazing, isn't it? It's big, it's fast, it's certainly a grand, solid boat, and nevertheless, they found a way to render the lower deck open as well. It's bright and spacious, and what a beautiful panorama. One can appreciate the open sea and the vast panoramic views, all while enjoying the luxury and comfort of the inimitable Riva interiors. The steel accents are formed in a way that express a certain class and recall the essence of a grand ship. This, for example, has a close semblance to a Jacob's ladder. The atmosphere of quality and richness is brought out by this very essence. The wood, elm, is varnished with a velvet finish, enhancing the luxurious feel of this open yacht. The layout is quite unusual. The kitchen is secluded, yet hosts an open bar that faces the living room. Judging by this, I'd say the guests slightly more important than the cook. But take a look at that fridge. It's these classic linear features that give a timeless elegance to the surroundings, while the LED light beams in the ceiling bring you back to a contemporaneity of the project. At the bow of the yacht reside the bedrooms, a guest room, a double bed, and finally, twin beds. The master cabin is at the centre of the hull, and words do not do it justice, limiting myself to demonstrate solely its luxuriousness, the spaciousness, the tastefulness of the bathroom, and the practicality of a large walk-in closet, all with the added bonus of a sweeping panoramic view.
Come ha detto in una conferenza stampa l'amministratore delegato del gruppo Ferretti, l'avvocato Alberto Galassi, provate a immaginare le soluzioni.
As said by Alberto Galassi, CEO of Ferretti Group, try to imagine the most innovative systems and materials used to build a boat. The designers at Riva had taken it one step further to accomplish something that no one had ever dared to do.